Good morning. I think it'll be happy Sunday to you. So today we're going to talk a little about feeding the alfalfa and hay out in the pasture as well as our sacrifice area, and talk about the critters a little bit and how they view it. Enjoy. Well, good morning, Patsy. One doesn't look like the rest. Patsy's hanging out with the sheep. Got the rest of the cows over there. I just wanted to kind of quickly cover our rationale for feeding. We feed twice a day. This is where these two specific feeders have been. They've been over here. For reference, there's the barn. And these two feeders specifically are more conducive to the sheep, just based on how they eat. So they're reaching up, less waste. Again, we don't mind waste. We don't really see it as waste because, you know, we're putting this down to help build the soil, protect it, especially over winter and spring. But so we move it every once in a while, and after we move it, now they have a new bedded area too, out of the wind, so this will protect them from a north wind. All this pile of rubble is all intentional. It may be ugly, but it's intentional to block a north wind so they can tuck in along there, they being the sheep or the cows. So we feed them alfalfa bales and some grass bales, some second and third crop grass bales. Throw some first crop in there every morning. And we feed them in two feeders. Depending upon the wind and the weather, we'll bring them in here and feed them down below if it's really windy to protect them. But then we just move the feeders where we want them to poop and pee. And oftentimes we'll even just feed them on the ground too, if you remember my videos from last year. But what's funny, and it's really not going to be demonstrating this video other than Patsy hanging out over here, is you feed over here first, they all come running over here, then you feed over there, then they go over there, and they flip-flop back in between, pushing each other out, even though the cows and the sheep, if you feed them in one location, will feed just fine next to each other. But it's just this thing. And then you have a few of them that, like this, I don't know, you can't see her in the foreground here. She's coming at us. She buddies up right next to the cows. And here comes Babs. Hey, Babs. We have some warm weather, so we kind of have a muddy mess here as you're walking through, and it's the joys of winter. And that's another thing we can do with this area in the trees, is if it got really muddy and I didn't want them out there tearing up the pasture, we can bring them in here. And this is very much a sacrifice area because this is never tillable ground per se. We are going to frost seed some cover crop rye into this in the spring, just to help diversify the species in here and build soil health. Actually, that's the weather that's coming at us. Okay, so here we're seeing it in real time. They literally have the same hay, alfalfa, because that's what they all want. They all want the ice cream, which would be third crop alfalfa bales. We only give a few of those. But now they're gonna come over here, seeing them over here, thinking that there's something different and or better over here. I mentioned that we feed them twice a day. That's because we want to encourage them to eat what we give them. So we come out, check for eggs around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, myself or William if he's not in school. And we'll assess the hay situation, either feed more hay or leave what they got just to get them through night. Here's Daisy. Morning, Daisy. What do you think? Yeah, you saw this other bale come out and it's grass, and you can just see the disappointment. It is interesting when you give them options. One of these cows can be very much, and the sheep too, very much, you know, looking for this alfalfa. You can see it here. Not too stemmy. These sheep do an excellent job of picking through the leaves. But they'll also select this grass. You know, this is a very soft grass cutting here, and you can see Reba's devouring it. So it's nice to give them the option when you have it, to allow them to select what they want. Now here comes Stella, here comes Murph. They made liars out of me. I said they wouldn't do it in this video, but they absolutely did. So now it'll be interesting to see. I don't think we'll hang around that long for your viewing, just for time. But if these sheep go back over there, you can see all the leaves falling on its neck. I mean, that's what they love most. Sometimes you'll see them pick them off each other's necks. So that was a look at our winter feeding system with the alfalfa and the hay. Everybody's doing great. Hope you had a Merry Christmas and also Happy New Year. Have a great day.